Hey everybody, it's Brent, and I just wanted to give a little introduction to movement feedback before we jump in and do it with everybody. And so I'm not going to do a long introduction. This is a VIP Club only event, and so I'm not going to do I'm not going to tell my story. I'm not going to give you a muscle testing tutorial or explain higher dimensional living, none of that. If this is your first event and you're totally confused by what we're doing here, don't panic. Just you might want to listen to or download one of the introductions to the club calls like the Wealth Club, where I do give a much longer introduction and explain this stuff. So what we're going to do tonight is movement feedback holography. And this is certainly the strangest of the consciousness tools that I've learned and teach. It is one of the most important tools. I think it's the most advanced, but it's also the weirdest. And essentially what we're doing is we'll have people come on camera and do certain movements, and we will read their energy pattern and then guide them through a process of penetrating and releasing the mythologies and belief systems that are holding them back. And you will watch them change in front of your eyes. You will watch their energy shift. So it's really phenomenal stuff. The reason I got into this is kind of crazy. There's the very short version. This came years after my elbow healed. When 5 years after the instant healing of my elbow, I had been a full-time practitioner of energy healing for several years. I had become a certified master in the system that I used to teach and practice. I had a full-time business. I was making money. I had seen hundreds of miracles happen with my own life, with my clients and students. But I had another level. There was another step that I didn't even know was there. So what did the universe do? It kicked my butt. It laid me out flat so I could discover it. And long story short, we don't need to get into a lot of drama, but I had made a lot of money and I lost it all. I was a victim of criminal fraud. And I had someone loot my bank account and steal everything I had, left me $750,000 in debt. And so right around that time, I also suffered the absolute worst heartbreak of my life. And I had been working with a life coach and a dating coach intensively. I did over 100 hours with him and a bunch of seminars. But I wasn't getting it. I wasn't shifting. And so he kicked me up the food chain. He goes, "Hey, Brent, you got to go see the master." And he introduced me to Carl. And so what happened was kind of crazy that this was back in 2008, where the week I met Carl, on Monday, I declared bankruptcy. One of the darkest days of my life. I was humiliated. I was desperate. I was depressed. I was hopeless. And the next day, I met Carl. And he had me come down to the beach, and I paid him $400 to videotape me rollerblading in a circle in a parking lot. And then we sat and watched the video, and he just criticized me. And honestly, I went home. I was upset. I was frustrated. I felt ripped off. I'm like, why isn't this guy going to do something to me, right? Why isn't he going to fix me? All he did was videotape me and then, give me all this criticism about how I'm in my head. And so I went home disappointed. And whoa, I did not expect it, but my business absolutely exploded. Within the next 2 days, my phone rang off the hook. I made over $12,000 by Thursday night that week. And I was so busy, I was constantly, I had a full schedule for like the next 3 months. I had never been making so much money in my life. And I was just blown away by the incredible results I got. And I'm like, wow, this crazy guy with a video camera really is onto something. And so I studied the process. I became a devoted student. I went to a lot of his classes and workshops and did private sessions. I did his 6-month intensive program, which completely changed my life. And the primary component of it is this movement feedback. And so it works on the principle that how you do everything is how you do anything. And how you do anything is how you do everything. Same thing, right? And I remember back around the time I first got involved in energy healing, one of the seminars I went to and one of the books I read was for T. Harv Eker's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And I mention that because one thing T. Harv claimed that blew me away at the time, it seemed like magic. He said, I can talk to someone for about 30 seconds, maybe a minute. I give you a rough idea of how much money they make. And I was like, wow, how do you do that, right? Well, now I get it. He could read people's energy. You can literally see the energy patterns, the myths, the beliefs. And watching someone do anything, you can watch them brush their teeth. You can watch them roller skate. You can watch them play Pac-Man, right? You can watch them shake their hands. You can do any of these movements, and when you learn how to read the energy, you'll see exactly the code and myths and stories that are creating their life. And by collapsing and penetrating those stories, it sets us free. It opens us up to embodiment, to being present, to being fully facilitated, which the most obvious way that shows up in your life is you make more money. And so I, over a slow process of years, figured this stuff out. And it's one of the most amazing and most important tools I've ever discovered, this movement feedback. And again, I know it's weird. And so I just want to let everybody know that when we do the movement tonight, if you've never done anything like this, it'll seem a little strange at first. I'll be calling out these myths and stories and patterns, and you may or may not see them. It's normal that at first you may not get it. You'll just think I'm nuts. However, maybe in 10 minutes, maybe by the end of the session, you'll start to see it. You go, oh yeah, I see how this person is throwing it away. I see how they're disconnected. I see how they're conducting or performing or whatever the myth is. So then what happens is when someone who's an experienced facilitator like me identifies the myth and calls it out, you'll be able to see it. You'll see the energy. And with more practice and training, you'll learn to do it for yourself. You'll be able to see other people's energy, your own energy, and this is such a phenomenally valuable skill. You'll be able to read people's energy and know what's going on in their life. Wouldn't this be useful to know before you hire someone for your company, before you take a job, but when you go on a date, before you invest somewhere? Of course. This is life-changing stuff, phenomenally powerful. And so we're not going to spend any more time talking about it here. I just want to jump in and do it. For those that want to learn more, there's a lot of ways to learn more. I hope you'll want to join me for the Awakening Dynamics Tools of Higher Dimensional Living class. That's the weekend workshop where we will teach you all 7 tools of higher dimensional living. We'll start your awakening. We'll teach you the instant healing process, how to identify and clear subconscious blocks, do subconscious downloads, how to manifest from a theta state, to do the consciousness shifting. We'll also cover the movement. So in that class, I'll explain a lot more about how it works and how to get benefit from it and how to do it on your own. And we'll have people in the class do movement and get feedback. So there's a lot more in that class on how to do this. There's also in the VIP club an event called Movement Feedback Holography, which is 7 articles and videos, one of our special events that explains how it works and gives you a lot of tips on how to do the movement and different kinds of movement. I just want everyone to know that is a bonus. It's one of many bonuses included if you join us for the Tools of Higher Dimensional Living class. So you get the class, you get the Movement Feedback Holography, you get the Abundance Toolkit, you get a whole bunch of stuff. So that's just one of many bonuses you'll get, as well as any VIP Club Gold or Silver member, you can just go download it. Just go download it, read it at your convenience, and go crazy. So that's enough talking about it. Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to bring in the group of people, and we're going to bring people up one at a time and put them on camera and have them do movements and get feedback, and you will watch them shift before your eyes. So again, it's going to seem a little crazy if you haven't done this before, but this is probably the most powerful and most transformative tool that I've ever experienced. And it's a foundation of awakening dynamics. And I wanted to bring it to you in the VIP club. So here we go.